Every 22 minutes, the sun explodes. But in that brief time, you can touch the stars, uncover lost civilizations, and piece together the fate of an entire solar system. The sky burns, time resets, and you wake up again on a quiet forest planet, staring at the stars, just as confused as you were the last time. Outer Wilds doesn't give you a mission. It doesn't tell you what to do or where to go. It just hands you a spaceship, a translator, and a universe that's quietly and slowly falling apart. It's a fascinating story that you manage to uncover piece by piece, not through cutscenes or quests, but by chasing your own curiosity and trusting that it will lead you somewhere more meaningful. Today, we're going to explore what makes the Outer Wilds such a singular experience, how it breaks the rules of modern gaming, and how it redefines what Discovery can feel like and manage to earn its place as a true masterpiece. One of Outer Wilds' greatest strengths is how it trusts the player. There's no quest log, no big go here arrows or a map filled with question marks. Instead, the story is scattered in ruins across the solar system. You are constantly looking for new messages from the Nomai, whom are an ancient race that came before you in search of something called the Eye of the Universe. Throughout the game, you read more and more about this mysterious eye, and it's one of the threads that you end up following all the way throughout to the end of this game. You can visit any planet in any order. There is no right path, and yet it never feels disjointed. That's because Outer Wilds is built on intentional breadcrumbs. Every discovery naturally points you towards the next one. You could find a scroll on one of the Ember Twins hinting at something hiding on the Whitehall Station, or you may read about a Nomai experiment gone wrong in Dark Bramble, and suddenly you want to know more. It's this sense of discovery that makes exploring so compelling and keeps you at the edge of your seat, ready to find out what mystery you're going to uncover next. Imagine this. You're on Brittle Hollow, and as you raise the Black Hole Forge into view, it feels like progress, until you realize there's actually no way to reach it from where you are. The entrance is suspended high on the ceiling, above a massive black hole that's slowly consuming the planet you're on. It's only later, while exploring another planet called the Ash Twin, that you discover a warp pad that takes you into the Forge. Moments like this make the Outer Wilds feel deeply personal. You're not following someone else's trail, you're forging your own. And because the game never holds your hand, the smallest breakthroughs can feel monumental. At its heart, Outer Wilds is a clockwork solar system. Everything moves, everything changes, and none of it waits for you. Planets orbit the sun in real time. One world crumbles piece by piece into a black hole, while two others trade their sand back and forth until one is completely hollowed out and the other is buried beneath its weight. These aren't scripted moments. They're natural events playing out whether you're there to witness them or not. That's what gives the game its sense of authenticity and its urgency. You're exploring a living system on borrowed time. And the key to it all is the time loop. Every 22 minutes, the sun goes supernova. The loop resets and you wake up once again at the quiet planet where your journey began. At first, it feels cruel, like everything you do is being erased. But then it clicks. The loop isn't actually a punishment, it's a gift. Because Outer Wilds isn't about collecting gear or leveling up stats, it's about learning. Where is the entrance to the Whitehall Station? What's buried deep beneath the storms of Giant's Deep? Why does Dark Bramble consume everything it touches? Every loop, you carry more knowledge, and that knowledge is the only thing that sticks with you. It turns the entire solar system into one giant interconnected puzzle, one that only makes sense when you begin to see how every piece fits together. You're exploring a world that's both alive and dying at the same time, and you're the only one who can figure it out before it all ends again. For its warmth and wonder, Outer Wilds can also be deeply unsettling. There's moments where you'll fall into black holes because you miss a jump, get crushed by a rising sand, or crash your ship into the surface of a planet because you were approaching too fast and realized too late. It's also hard to forget the fear of actually losing your ship, because if that happens, you better hope you can find your way back to it before your fuel runs out. Otherwise, you will suffocate with the eternal darkness all around you. And then there's the planet called Dark Bramble. You follow a signal into the fog, the music cuts out, and you realize you're all alone. You end up seeing a white light in the distance and figure that this must be the source of the signal that you were chasing. Alright, now anywhere around here should be a guy playing some music. Let's see what this is about. Oh my god! Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up! Great. In any other game, death like this might feel like failure, but Outer Wilds treats death as a teacher. Every mistake, every terrifying encounter, it all adds to your understanding. And that's what makes it so powerful. The fear doesn't just exist for shock or difficulty, it's there to make these moments of peace and discovery feel earned. You are small, you're vulnerable, and the universe doesn't care if you survive. But you keep going anyway. And then there's the music. Andrew Pralow's soundtrack is the soul of Outer Wilds. Each planet has its own soundscape, ranging from the banjo and timberhearth to the low rumble of the Dark Bramble. But in my opinion, the most powerful piece of music in this game isn't tied to a single planet. It's actually tied to the travelers you meet on your journey. Scattered across the solar system are other explorers. Each one of them has a unique instrument that they play at their own campfire. You can hear their songs from across the galaxy when you use your signal scope, each instrument layered into one shared beautiful melody. This tiny detail, this little chorus, ties the solar system together beautifully. You feel connected to these people, even if they're light years away. Sound design also plays a huge role in the atmosphere. The silence of space, the sudden crunch when your ship collides with some debris, or the distant hum of the black hole trying to pull you in. Outer Wilds is a masterclass in using audio not just for mood, but for navigation, storytelling, and especially emotional weight. From a game design perspective, Outer Wilds is quite revolutionary. Most games tend to tie their progression to things such as upgrades, better gears, higher levels, and things along those lines. But in the Outer Wilds, knowledge is your main form of progression. The realization of how time affects a specific planet, that's your new ability. The fact you know when to use the warp pad to get to the Whitehole Station, that is your shortcut. It's the kind of design that respects the player's intelligence. It encourages curiosity for its own sake. And it's rare. There are no boss fights, no skill trees, and no endless grind. Instead, every minute spent exploring leads to more of an understanding of what's going on around you. It's not just a puzzle box either. In the end, it's a solar system that fully reacts to time, physics, and your presence within it. That is why no two playthroughs will ever feel the same. Your story is uniquely yours. If Outer Wilds was just a brilliant puzzle box, it would already be impressive enough. But it goes further. At its heart, this is a game about curiosity in the face of inevitability. It's about choosing to explore even when you know the end is coming every 22 minutes. The time loop is more than a mechanic, it's a metaphor. Every one of us is on a timer. The universe itself is on a timer. But instead of letting that paralyze you, Outer Wilds asks, what if that's the very reason you should keep exploring instead? The Nomai embody this spirit. They chased the eye of the universe across light years, not because they knew they'd succeed, but because the journey mattered. And then there's the ending. When you finally uncover the eye's true nature, you don't win in a traditional sense. You don't save the world. The sun still goes supernova. But you witness something greater, the rebirth of the universe. And in that moment, as the travelers gather to play their instruments one final time, you realize the entire game has been preparing you for this one act of acceptance. The universe ends, yes, but life will begin again.
Oh shit. Oh my god, no! There has to be a way out of this. Come on, if I can just boost my way out, then I can make sure that I don't get consumed by the black hole. Ah, I'm so close. Come on, I'm almost there. I can see it right there. There has to be a way out. What? What the hell is that? What is that? Why is that coming closer to me? I don't really like this at all. Oh my god. Oh no.
So why does Outer Wilds stay with people long after they finish it? I think it might be because the game isn't about power or conquest or even survival, because it's about wonder. The feeling you had as a kid, staring up at the night sky, imagining what's out there. Outer Wilds bottles that feeling. It makes you appreciate the fragile beauty of the cosmos. It makes you care about characters you barely meet, and it makes you think about the value of your time, not just in the game, but in your own life. Outer Wilds is a reminder that the universe is vast, that our time is short, and that's exactly why it's worth exploring. Not many games have the courage to tell a story like this. Looking back on this game, I don't remember the frustration of the failed loops, or how many times I crashed my ship, which was more often than I'd like to admit. I remember the first time I heard that melody echoing through space. I remember sitting by a campfire with strangers who ended up feeling like friends. And I remember watching the universe end, not with fear, but with gratitude. Because this isn't really a game about dying. It's a game about living. And that is why Outer Wilds is a masterpiece. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss the next one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.